Good morning, you guys. Thank you so much for coming into our talk story about getting involved on campus, the SGA and CAB edition. My name is Nicole Buxteberger, and I'm the Assistant Director of Student Organizations.
Hi, everyone. My name is Adrienne Lampatelli. I'm the Director of Student Activities and Orientation Programs, and I advise both Campus Activities Board and Student Government Association. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. Kiana, you want to go next?
Hi, everybody. My name is Kiana Kabakungan, and I am the Campus Activities Board Chairperson. Take it away, SGA.
Chloe, you're muted.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Chloe Huang. I'm the president for the Student Body Association, Student Government Association. Super excited today to tell you about my experience at HPU.
And I'm La'Akea, and I'm the Student Body Vice President, and same as Chloe.
Awesome. So CAB has prepared just a short, brief presentation about what CAB's all about. So Kiana and Gina, do you want to take it away?
Yes. All right. So again, my name is Kiana. I'm from the Campus Activities Board, also known as CAB. So a little bit about who we are. Can go on to the next slide. Yep. So CAB is a student-run, student-led organization. And our main goal is to enhance HPU students' university experience. And we do this through creative programming. So basically coming up with events that students can come to. These are campus-wide events, and we host them all year round. We have a bunch of different ones. We have our annual events, and this allows us to have quality entertainment and also allows students to be more involved in the HPU community. And so here are some of our events. Club Carnival, we have this twice a year, so at the beginning of the fall and spring semesters, and students are able to see all of the clubs that we, or student organizations that we have here at HPU, and learn about the organizations and sign up as members. For Ohana Fall Feast, this is our celebration in the fall. And we have this celebration on campus. It's for HPU students, staff, and faculty. And it's basically a celebration where we get together, eat some good food, and have a great time together. Intercultural Day is one of our spring semester events. And this is where we celebrate all of our different ethnicities, different cultures that we have here at HPU, great food, and entertainment. So the photo you see here is actually a student who was very awesome and performed for us. And Shark Fest is where we celebrate our athletics. So we have a pep rally, we have a concert. This artist was Sophia, and we had him last spring. And so why get involved? You can enhance your leadership skills, expand your network, build your resume, and most importantly, take charge of your college experience. And so through CAB, you can either be an executive or a general member. For our executive members, this was last year's executive team that you see on the slide right over here. We're the ones who mostly plan the events, and then our general members help us. They're our backbone. They help us execute the events, they volunteer, and help us with like passing out drinks or food and doing bag check-ins and all of that. So it's a really great team that we have here. If you are interested in planning events, then come talk to us. So here's our email. It's cab@my.hpu.edu. or you can follow us on Instagram at CAB-HPU. Today, we're actually doing an Instagram takeover, so go ahead and check that out. Well, thank you. That's CAB.
I see Janelle and Gina has joined us. They are also part of the CAB organization as executive officers. Did either of you want to chime in and share anything regarding CAB or your experience?
Well, I'm the administrative director this upcoming school year, and I just really loved CAB immediately when I got into HPU, and I wanted to do something to kind of get myself introduced to other students and give me something to do. So I decided to join CAB, and it's been really fun. So if you're interested in joining any kind of clubs or anything, this is great. There's a lot of benefits to it. So I just really suggest doing it.
Sorry, my camera's off right now, but can you guys hear me? Okay, so I'm Janelle. I'm the current vice chair for CAB this year. If you guys follow us on Instagram, I'm doing the Instagram takeover today. So y'all saw my morning routine. But I really enjoy being part of CAB because it's really nice just to be involved in school. I've always been a really involved student ever since high school, but I was always too shy to join kind of like the larger organizations, you know, like event planning, SGA, things like that. But I decided to kind of get out of my comfort zone and join CAB. And that was actually one of the best decisions I made in college. And it's really fun. I made a lot of friends. I gained a lot of really good skills, and I just really enjoy being a part of something really great. So.
Does somebody want to talk about what it means to be a general member? How, you know, a new student or someone who has not been involved in CAB before, how they can start to get involved?
Yeah, so as a general member, we have meetings every month. We have about 2 meetings, and basically what we do is we get together, we talk about our upcoming events for CAB and how our general members can participate. So for example, in the fall, when we have our Halloween Fun Fest, we like to invite our general members to help us create like a booth or any costumes that we want to wear during the event. And to become a general member, you can go to the Club Carnival and you can sign up with CAB, sign up for our email list, and at our other events as well. At the beginning of the school year, you're able to sign up and become a part of CAB. If you want to be an executive member, we also have our applications opening at the beginning of the fall semester and spring semester as well.
Okay, before we move on to SGA, does anyone have any questions for CAB? Otherwise, you can submit it through the chat, or you can ask later. I don't see any questions now, so Chloe, you want to go ahead and share more information about SGA?
Sure. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello again. So my name is Chloe. I'm the student body president for SGA. Super honored and privileged to be serving your president for the incoming school year. And thank you so much for tuning in. So, sorry, one moment. All right, we can go on next slide, please. Thank you. So what is SGA? SGA is your student government body in HPU. We mimics the US government composition, which means that we also have 3 branches in HPU SGA, which consists of the legislative, executive, and judiciary branch. I myself is the student body president, so I belong into the executive branch. For anyone who is interested in becoming a senator, then you will belong to the legislative branch, which is the senators. And then the judiciary branch is a separate branch than all of the legislative and executive branch, which they mostly solve conflicts in election and deal with any unfair or ongoing issues in SGA. So our main goal in SGA is look for students' concerns and support the student body. Therefore, that means we always try our best to find solutions for these concerns and constantly working to improve the school for students. And then you probably might not have known, but you should, any registered student with at least 1 credit is a constituent of the SGA, which means that any of your concern, it should be directly reported to us if you have any. And then you have the right to vote during the election period. All right, next slide. La, do you want to talk about this? Oh, La, you're still muted.
Great, thanks. Okay, so SGA has been around for a pretty long time, but we decided to highlight things that we've just done in the past 2 or 3 years or so. So there's a student health clinic or a health center that HPU has put together, and it used to only be open for 10 hours or less during the school week. And so we had a huge conversation, and we made sure that we got concerns from all of our constituent groups, because there are different senators that represent different parts of the student body. And so everyone got together and we had this huge collaboration with like student life to get this through. That the student health clinic now is on a scale to provide a lot more healthcare to a wider range of students, and that students have this accessible healthcare. So things like that are super important, that we really want to support the student body in any way we can. The same goes for the HPU bus pass. So every 2 years we have to renew our contract with the bus company, which allows students to pay a fraction of the price that it would cost to have a bus pass. And this can be a huge cost for students who only know how to take the bus. They can't afford to take a car or Uber everywhere. So things like that, really making things accessible. But it's not only just like those basic concerns. We also wanted to do things that are a little more voluntary. So like bus shuttles to athletic games to help kids be more active in school spirit. We've collaborated with various university departments, or RSOs, which are registered student organizations, better known as like student clubs. So we really look to collaborate with different groups, different departments, and try to help out, not just working with students, but working with like the faculty, the staff, and the administration to make school better for everyone. So yeah, and then we also meet every week, or the Senate meets every week, Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. On campus, and that's where we talk about any issues that are going on. Senators are actively looking for student concerns that we can help improve the school. So it's also open to the public, or to the public of HPU, not like the real public. So if any students ever wanted to come and express their concerns, or just come and find out like what we do and what we talk about, then we do want to promote that to all students.
All right, so who are we? We're a student governing body. We're all made up of students. We have 2 senators. For the senator side, we have 2 senators from each colleges that you can see over here. College of Business, College of Health and Society, College of Natural and Computer Science, College of Liberal Arts, and then College of Professional Studies. And besides that, we also have senator position for graduate students, veterans, international students, Hawaii Lower Campus and Downtown Campus, Military Campus, and athletic senators, which means that we are really trying to reach out for different perspective of students to make sure that the students' voice are heard. And then as you might see here, some already have the pictures filled, which means that there is a senator that is currently taking the position. But if there's a pending over here, that means we currently have candidates that is going through the application process. But for any vacant positions, they're currently open, and then you are free to apply for the positions. So if you're interested, can we go on next slide, please?
Yeah. Oh wait, one more thing, sorry, if we could go back. I also just wanted to highlight that these are all different levels of commitment. So it's all very flexible to like what you want to do, and there are different ways of being a leader. So every position on this slide right here we'll fill you into a student leader position, which is a great responsibility, and there's so many opportunities that come with it. So if you guys do want to know more, please reach out to us, ask us questions, or email us. We have Instagram too, that's on the next slide. And I also just wanted to say that the positions that you see there for the Senate, they were all created more or less by students. So I know that 5 years ago, maybe a little more, the athletic senator was never a position. But then the students said, hey, the constituent group needs to be represented, and they worked really hard and they got that passed through. So if you do see like a constituent group that you've noticed are not represented through the other groups, like those are things that we constantly try to improve ourselves and our organization to help better serve the students.
Yeah, the last slide is some ways that you can get in touch with us. You can go to our Instagram page, or you can just email us directly. We will respond to you in at least 48 hours.
Chloe or can either of you talk a little bit more about how students can get involved? You highlighted ways in which students can get involved in specific positions with SGA, whether it be the executive branch, legislative branch, or judicial branch, but how can students also get involved, but may not necessarily hold an appointed or elected position within SGA? So what I'm talking about is appointed student rep type positions with, say, SAFAC, shared governance committee, so on and so forth.
So there's multiple pathways that students can do that without actually being like an appointed member, which basically means that the Senate will vote on you being an SGA. So there's a little more freedom that comes with being a student representative. And there are, as I said, there's multiple paths. So SAFAC, which is a board that basically decides where a student activity fee that everybody pays, where that money goes. So that's a really, really important position. And it's where you become a representative of your student body, and you get to speak for your students and decide where that money goes, which is really important because not only does that representative themselves pay that money every year, every semester, but so does the 5,000 other kids that go to HPU. So things like that. Students are also welcome to join Senate committees. So senators have to be in a certain committee within Senate. So if students ever wanted to get involved in that, we can go more into that with anybody that's interested. And then really what Chloe and myself do is we get to attend all these meetings. Every single university meeting that are involved with the president, the provost, various faculty and staff. And so that is really cool too, because if you wanted to be a part of that, then you just have to talk to us and we'll help you get onto a committee that you might be interested in. And then again, you are a student voice and you are physically there representing not only yourself, but the people who you go to school with. So in that way, that can be really cool. And especially because nobody's perfect and no organization is perfect. And so that is a physical way that you could say, hey, I don't think that I think this could be improved. How can I go and help make sure that happens? And so that's where you have that opportunity to go to a committee meeting and physically see the president or the provost or the dean of student activities or anybody who might be in a position to help you change that.
Does anyone have any questions? You can enter it into the chat or raise your hand and we can unmute you. Otherwise, does anyone have anything else they want to share, especially I think in regards to your experience with either of these two organizations? For example, what have you gained from this experience as far as being involved with SGA or CAB? How have you grown? Whoever wants to go first can go.
I can go. I think when I was in student government when I was in high school, and I was a little unsure coming to HPU. I hadn't really heard anything about SGA before, and I didn't know how I wanted to get involved, and I was definitely too scared to run for an elected position as a freshman. So I decided to contact the president at that time, and she was super helpful and was like, yeah, we'd love for you to be involved. Here, come do this. You don't have to run. You just kind of sign up and we'll give you an interview and then see how you do. And so from there, I got to be chief of staff of the executive board, and it was kind of like dipping my toe in the water and doing something a little more lower on the radar. And from there, I got to move in. So the next year, which was last year for me, then I got to be Senator of Liberal Arts, and to go into that new position and kind of climb up the ladder and see different ways to get involved. And that was a whole new level of being a student leader in a different fashion, in a different kind of like style, I guess you could say, because there's different responsibilities that come with it. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I really enjoy this. Like, what's next? And so then I moved into working with Chloe, and now I'm the vice president of the student body. So it's really cool to see how I got to grow and move into new positions. I didn't have to just stay stagnant for the 3 years that I've been in SGA so far. So that to me was really exciting, and now I get to be a leader in a totally different way.
Oh, I just wanted to share about my experience for SGA. It's a little bit different from La''s, because La was in SGA since a freshman, but I was only in SGA for a year as an executive member, as a treasurer for only 1 year. And then later on, I went out to do internships and get involved with other clubs and jobs outside of school. But so for one of my internship, I actually was an intern for a state legislator. So the state senator, when I was interning with him, I have seen all these like real life politicians working, how these public policy makers are dealing with our real life problems and issues. And then I just got super excited for that. And then I decided to run for the student body position. So I ran this past February, and the campaign season was definitely like a tornado for me, putting so much effort. And then I feel like this real life experience of campaigning and participating in election really like help me grow in like different ways, like communication, how do you talk to your constituents, and how do you gain people's trust of like, and how do you show your commitments to your students. And I think it's just really excited for me to come back to school and serve my closest community.
I also wanted to add in some leadership and people skills that I gained through CABS. So last school year, I was the membership director. And as a membership director, you have to get out there and talk to people, recruit new members. And when I was younger, growing up, I was an introvert. I did not want to talk to anybody. So being in the membership director position, I was going out of my comfort zone, learning how to talk to people. And at events like Club Carnival, I'd always be like, okay, I have to go talk to that person, preparing myself. But I learned that over the course of the school year, I became more comfortable just going up to random people in my shark costume and saying, hey, let me tell you about CAB. And it's a great way to meet new people, get new friends. And if you don't just go out there and introduce yourself, you're never gonna see what you can get more of. So if I, for example, wasn't able to go out and talk to some people, maybe we wouldn't have had the executive board that we did last school year. So it's a great skill that I learned, and now that I'm in the chairperson position and being in CAB for a little bit over a year now, I've also learned a lot of leadership skills, and I found myself using these skills in other places other than CAB. So I used it at work, I used it in school. So one of my majors is elementary education, and I learned how to use skills that I learned at CAB in the classroom, which is very different, two different places, but it works. And I'm so appreciative of how I can use all of these leadership skills in my career and in other places that I never realized.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. While we're waiting on some more questions to come through, I just wanted to throw out, do a quick shout out to the RSOs and that involvement opportunity for you. There's a couple of RSO leaders here as well, so I will call on them to talk about their experience. But just as a brief overview, we divide out our RSOs every year into academic, special interest, and cultural and spiritual. So we have a plethora of clubs every year that come through. You can join one, join them all. It doesn't have to be related to your major at all. Every club is open to everybody. So I know La'a, for example, is a psychology major, but she is very involved in the entrepreneurship club. I think she's a double major in business, so La'a can correct me if I'm wrong. But you can join any of the clubs that speak your interest. We have Kiana is also a member of the Christian Student Organization, correct me if I'm wrong on that one. And so that is what part of her community as well. And then special interests. So if you wanted to get involved in anime or sustainable living or any of that, go online. A whole list of clubs are listed at www.hpu.edu/clubs. If you don't find a club that you would like to have on campus, for example, a taco appreciation club. I love eating tacos especially on a Tuesday, and I know some students would be on board with that. Just grab 10 of your friends and come talk to me to get your club active. I really just need to know your club name and who to contact. Super easy process, and they're all going to be there at Club Carnival in that second week of school, just like Kiana talked about. So can you guys talk about your club experience? What has been your favorite RSO event or student organization event, and how do you manage your time between multiple organizations and your leadership positions in CAB and SGA?
So for me, being in both CAB and the Christian Student Organization last school year, it was very new, and I had to learn how to balance the two, as well as my schoolwork and work. So what I learned is for time management, to kind of juggle things around, and I kind of learned how to say this, like do two things at once. So maybe I could have like my lunch break, but also a meeting. Maybe I could have the two different meetings at the same location back to back, so that I'm not running around and having to go back and forth between like maybe Waterfront Plaza and Aloha Tower. So that's just little things that I learned how to do. And also throughout the week, what I did was section days off, and maybe Sunday was for homework, Tuesdays were for CAB, Fridays were for TSO, and that helped me a lot. And also making sure that you're not the only one, and relying also on your team members, because you are part of a team. And it's okay to ask people for help when you need it. So don't feel like because you're in all these different leadership positions that you need to be taking on full force of each task. You can ask for help, delegate tasks if you need to, and yeah.
I love everything that Kiana just said, and I also live by those values. And I think too, moving into HPEC, or the Hawaii Pacific Entrepreneur Club, I went in as a freshman, and at that time I was a business major. Since then I've changed my major to psychology with management minor. But I really got involved in that because the professor that I had for economics was the advisor of the club. And that's kind of how I heard about the club and was getting involved. And it was really cool because it was all about students and how like entrepreneurism is a really, really hard industry to get into. It's like 5% of all new businesses actually succeed in the first year. So to see that there was a support system at HPU for students to really get into their interests, whatever it may be, whether it's related to their major or not, was really cool, and to have that support system. And I think that I'm one of those people that's like, ooh, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this. And then I end up putting too much on my plate. And so it's always good to definitely like check yourself and say, hey, do I have time for this? Am I going to be too stressed out for it? And luckily I was able to figure out my schedule. And I think something that really, really helped for me was that for like the incoming week, so say it was a Sunday, then I'd be like, okay, this next Monday through Saturday, I would write down like columns for every day and say I have to do these things by this day. And I would even put little things like go to class. Like I know I'm gonna do that, but I want to do it anyway so that I can feel accomplished, and I can put a little check mark next to the little box that says go to class. Things like that. Or, you know, like make sure that you do this by this date if it's homework, or make sure you like receive this email by this date, things like that. And I think that was really good because it could help me compartmentalize like what I had to do by a certain time. And so then all the big things just seemed smaller and more doable. So I would say it's definitely doable. And just like Kiana said, like always make sure that you find your support system, whether it's in your club, it's personal, family, who you dorm with, anything like that. But I think HPU does provide, like our faculty and our staff, our advisors are really, really great for helping students out and making sure that we all have the support that we need. So yeah.
I like what La just said, that it is totally doable for you to both have a regular school life and participate in clubs. Well, I think you're in college. One of the most important things, keep challenging yourself, and then also like we're all work in progress. There is always improvement for you to make. So as for time management, I've tried so many things. I have tried to put down a to-do list for each day, or like try a big calendar to complete tasks for the whole week. I mean, I've tried all sorts. Right now, I'm actually still going through what is the best format for me. So I think exploring the best time management schedule for you is also very important. It's really like a way of self-exploration. And then in terms of clubs, I also was a part of the United Nations Club, because so I am political science and computer science major. So Model UN really provide me this platform to like pretend myself as a diplomat, represent a country, and talk about a certain issue. And then what is so cool about it is that every semester we go travel either internationally or to within the States. So either go to New York or DC if we're going within the States. And then from there you get to meet other great people from other schools that are interested in like international relations. So I feel like it is also an opportunity for you to talk to people from other schools, not only about your schools. I feel like participating in clubs really expand your view, even you're still in college.
Awesome. Thanks so much, you guys, for that insight. Yes, joining a club or joining a CAB or SGA is a great low risk opportunity to get involved, flex your leadership muscles, and find your passion in college. Do you guys have any advice for incoming students?
I do. So looking back at when I first came in as a freshman, I was super active in high school, and coming in, I had the mindset that I wanted to chill out and kind of lay back, not be a part of anything, focus on work and school. That was the worst decision I made. I quickly learned that just going to class and going back to my dorm gets really boring really easily. And you don't feel like you're really part of the community, the HPU community. So definitely get out there, find what, like Nicole said, find what you're passionate in, what you really care about, and go for it. If it's not a current student organization, then make it one. get in contact with people, see what you can be a part of. And from there, you're just going to become part of more and more things. And it's going to really enhance your experience here at HPU. Don't be afraid to reach out to people and just join things, because it really makes it so much better to be here. It's more enjoyable. You learn more than what you can in the classroom, and you can even use what you learn in the classroom in the student organizations or in whatever you're a part of here, and vice versa. So yeah.
I would say that college is the time where you get to be your own self and be a new you. So whether you were in a certain box in high school, now is the time where you get to kind of break out of that. And especially in college, you got to do things that scare you, do things that you're not comfortable with. And if that means signing up for every email list of every club at Club Carnival, then I recommend do that, because at least you have this information from these different clubs, and then you find out, okay, maybe I don't like this, then you just unsubscribe, but to at least put yourself out there and try new things that you didn't think you might be interested in. But all you got to do is go to one meeting and or get that one email and say, hey, actually that sounds like a really cool thing, I might want to do that. I never thought I would try a finance club or sustainable living and photography. There's all kinds of things that you can do. And especially in your freshman years, where you get to establish yourself in different groups. And even if you're dorming, then usually you'll surround yourself with the people who you're physically with all the time. And so then that becomes your group. But then when you go to different clubs, you meet new people. And especially because HPU is so diverse, you typically will meet people from all over the world in different cultures, different backgrounds, and different mindsets than you. And so then you get to kind of break out of your shell and think about things in a different perspective than you might have been doing all your life. And so in that way, it can be really eye-opening, because college is scary, but I think that once you can get over that hump, then you get to experience all these really cool things.
Awesome. As one of our leaving comments, I just want to remind you guys that if this has been great information and you're these are all great events, but there's no way I can remember that, no worries. SGA CAB and our Office of Student Activities has you covered. So there's loads of different mediums that we use to help kind of keep you in the loop. So CAB, SGA, Student Activities on Instagram and Facebook, and follow us on social media. CAB said they're doing a takeover today, so watch that and participate in any of their campaigns that they are doing. We also post on the HPU calendar. So if you go to www.hpu.edu/calendar, you'll see all of our events, not just CAB and SGAs, but you'll see across campus. So virtual HPU events are on there, as well as colleges, departments, anything to get you guys involved, so that way you guys can plan ahead, figure out your week, figure out what your week will look like in that way. We also will use our e-screens around campus, so look up from your phone and look up towards your e-screens or the bulletin boards, and for flyers like that. The same flyers can also be posted on Piliani, which is on the HPU app or the My HPU portal. So you'll see kind of a posting, a announcement posting, kind of Instagram looking thing. And so across campus, they'll post jobs will be posted from Career Development Center. We'll post all of our cool events from student life. Any sort of deadlines coming up, we'll also post there as well. So there's plenty of ways to kind of keep tabs on the university. Anything else you'd like to add, you guys?
I just want to say that please don't slack off if you're a freshman. Just push yourselves really hard and then expose yourself to the H community as many as possible. I mean, in the end, even it can be a little bit tiring, but it's definitely worth it. You'll get all the friends, you'll get all the experiences, and you can even get something to put on a resume. So it's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, adding on to Chloe too, is that it's very valuable to find out what you don't like as much as it is what you do like. So maybe you do go to a million things and you know that you don't like to do these things. It's like, okay, well, at least I know that's not me. And then you get to find what you do like, or put more commitment into the things that you are interested in.
Yeah, it can even like help you with your future career or your job choice.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Keela, I didn't see any questions come through the chat. Is there anything else that you would like us to add?
Let me unmute. I think you guys have covered it. Thanks so much for joining us today and giving this information. I know one of the things we're hearing from the incoming students is they just want to learn how to get involved on campus. So this has been super helpful, and it's always helpful hearing the student perspective rather than just the advisor perspective, because you guys are the ones actually experiencing it in the moment. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for hosting, Keela, and a virtual HPU.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Stay safe.